E. J. Pratt's poem The Dying Eagle is a poignant exploration of nature, survival, and the inevitability of death, expressed through the narrative of an aged eagle's final moments. The poem, which conveys a deep connection to both the natural world and the passage of time, is rich in symbolism and humanistic reflection. The poem begins by painting a vivid picture of a remote, desolate landscape high up in the mountains, where the eagle has made its home. This terrain is described as rugged, with towering peaks and wide open skies. The setting immediately situates the reader in an environment that mirrors the harshness of the eagle's life. The eagle, once a symbol of power and freedom, is now facing the end of its life. Pratt uses this imagery to create a dramatic backdrop, emphasizing the solitary grandeur of the bird in its final hours. Pratt describes the eagle as old and weakened by time. Once a creature of immense power, it now struggles to perform the basic actions that once defined its existence: flying, hunting, and commanding the skies. The bird's wings, which were once the instruments of its dominance, now flap weakly, no longer capable of carrying it aloft with the same strength. This imagery of physical decline is central to the poem, symbolizing the broader themes of aging and the decline of strength and vitality over time. As the eagle struggles, the poem shifts into a reflection on its younger years. Pratt recounts the bird's former glories, where it soared effortlessly over the landscape, mastering the air and preying on other creatures with ease. The eagle's memories of youth serve as a sharp contrast to its present condition, where it is reduced to a shell of its former self. This juxtaposition of past and present creates a sense of tragedy, highlighting the inevitability of decline that all living beings face. Throughout the poem, the eagle is more than just a bird. It is a symbol of strength, freedom, and the natural cycle of life and death. Pratt uses the eagle as a metaphor for humanity's own struggles with mortality. The eagle's power and subsequent decline mirror the human experience of aging, where once vibrant individuals must confront their own limitations. The bird's journey from dominance to death is a reflection of the natural order, where all creatures, no matter how powerful, must eventually succumb to time. As the eagle nears its death, Pratt emphasizes its solitude. The bird is alone in the mountains, separated from its species and the world it once dominated. This isolation intensifies the emotional weight of the poem, suggesting that death is an experience that must be faced alone. The eagle's solitary demise also highlights the vastness and indifference of nature, which continues its course regardless of the life or death of any individual creature. The theme of isolation underscores the universality of mortality. While the eagle struggles against its impending death, the natural world remains indifferent. The wind continues to blow, the mountains stand unmoved, and the skies stretch endlessly above. Pratt's description of nature as indifferent to the eagle's fate suggests that death is a natural part of life, something that occurs without fanfare or recognition. This stark portrayal of nature contrasts with the emotional gravity of the eagle's struggle, reinforcing the poem's existential themes. In a final act of defiance, the eagle makes one last attempt to soar into the sky. Pratt describes the bird's efforts in vivid detail, capturing the intensity of the moment. The eagle's wings, though weakened, still try to lift it toward the heavens, and for a brief moment, the bird seems to reclaim its former strength. This final effort symbolizes the struggle against death, the desire to continue living even in the face of inevitable decline. The bird's last flight is both tragic and heroic, as it embodies the universal drive to survive. Despite its best efforts, the eagle ultimately succumbs to its weakened state. Pratt describes the bird's final fall from the sky, its body descending back to the earth. The image of the eagle falling from the heavens symbolizes the finality of death and the return of all creatures to the natural world. Pratt's depiction of the eagle's death is both dignified and sorrowful, capturing the beauty and tragedy of the moment. The eagle, once a master of the skies, is now at rest, its struggles finally over. Pratt uses the eagle's death as a lens through which to explore broader philosophical themes about mortality and the human condition. The poem suggests that death is not something to be feared, but rather a natural part of life cycle. The eagle's life, like all lives, was marked by both triumph and struggle, and its death is presented as a culmination of that journey. In this sense, the poem offers a reflection on the inevitability of death and the ways in which all creatures must come to terms with their own mortality. Even in death, the eagle leaves behind a legacy. Pratt emphasizes the bird's enduring presence in the landscape, suggesting that although the eagle is no longer alive, its spirit remains in the mountains, the skies, and the wind. The poem ends on a note of reverence, acknowledging the majesty of the eagle and the significance of its life. This closing reflection suggests that although individual lives are fleeting, their impact on the world can endure, much like the eagle's presence in the natural world. Through The Dying Eagle, E.J. Pratt creates a powerful meditation on the themes of mortality, nature, and the passage of time. The poem uses the eagle as a metaphor for the human experience, exploring how creatures face death with a mixture of dignity, struggle, and acceptance. It ultimately suggests that while death is inevitable, there is beauty and meaning in the life that precedes it, and in the natural cycles that continue beyond it.